Yo, 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 yo. Welcome to episode 5 of The Basement. I'm your boy Derrick, here with Nick. What's up? The GOATs. What's up, guys?
What's going on, man? Just chilling, living, man. Feeling good after the draft. You feeling, Nick?
I'm good, man.
Yeah,
Now that the draft's over, one step closer to mini camp. I think is next. Yeah, mini camp is next.
yeah, rookie.
Yeah.
Yeah, rookie camp.
Any
Yeah,
dates
rookie
on the
camp.
rookies?
Hmm.
Any dates on the rookies? Probably end of the month. We should see the rookies, right? About the
Yeah,
20th?
I think next
Yeah.
week.
Nice. Nice. Exciting stuff, man. We had a pretty awesome week. I hope everybody got a chance to tune into the live we did on Thursday night around 1. That was pretty fun to sit there, the guys. I was a little late. Nick was ahead. We had to watch the pick through his TV, but he got a nice little TV, whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no iPad, so we did all right.
So for
So
sure.
I guess we can start there, fellas, on Thursday night. Thursday night was interesting from, I would say, pick two. Nah, pick three. It got interesting. Um,
Yeah,
Overall, what are you guys' opinions on day one, round one? Like, what was going through you guys' heads that we got closer to 26?
I
I'll
think
let
I.
you start. Nick.
Yeah. I was about to say. I think they did good. I think one thing we always got to credit this front office for is I see a lot of people thinking that they panic pick, and in a way they kind of do sometimes. But one thing about them is they always let the board fall to them, which is good. They don't they don't feel the need to have to go up. They what I'm saying. They let it fall to them, and I think they did that really well this year. They had options at 26, and I think they had a good 4 to 5 options that I would have been really comfortable with. And as we'll get into soon, I think they made a really good pick at 26.
Yeah, man. I think
Yeah,
one thing that McCarthy and his administration has done since he's been in, I think they've been real good at using the media to kind of manipulate, smoke screen, whatever their intentions are, whether it be through the draft, through the season. They really don't show their hand. And you really gotta watch. Like you're better off watching their actions, better than listening to their words. To try to understand what they want to do. I think I'm glad that they held true to positional value in the first round because I think a lot of people kind of worry about them picking the tight end in the first round. And all along, I kind of felt like it would be out of character for them to take a tight end in the first round and really without any. I
irresponsible.
think Michael Mayer, yeah, for sure, and Michael Mayer and Kincaid, those are good players. They're probably going to be Pro Bowl level tight ends, but I still don't think it's like a tight end in this draft that stands out, well enough like a Gronk or Kyle Pitts to make you draft him in the first round. So,
Yeah,
you know, I think they made like the right decision. Coming into the draft, I wanted an O lineman, but um, in the few days since the pick, I feel like I come around to. I was happy when we picked Mazi, but I think this might have been the correct pick even more so over O line. I think getting an immediate starter and an upgrade over position that really it sets you apart from like maybe 70% of the league. Really, only 30% of the league has a player like Mazi Smith. There's a lot of teams that are in the playoffs and contending that are missing a nose tackle that can have an impact in the passing and run game. So I think I would give it an A+, Mazi Smith.
Yeah.
yeah. No, I would say from a totality standpoint, looking at the first round, it was a really interesting night for me. From Bijan going top 10 and Seattle breaking the draft, picking Witherspoon at 5. I mean, all of those things started to create a story for Dallas at 26 of are we going to get our CD Lamb at 26 this year again with Nolan Smith, and then him being on the clock and us going Mozzie just shows you that this team is disciplined. This team is
Yeah.
disciplined, and they
Right.
understand what it's going to take to win. And even watching Al put me on to the Bleacher Report draft, and Michael's on there, and just seeing his excitement for the pick, and seeing that this was somebody that he was talking about the entire day. As somebody's going to be able to help me get sacks, I'm gonna help you get sacks. So I was really excited to kind of see the perspective of the front office, and for them to go DT, man. Like we've been fans of this team my whole life. They've done this never. You know what I'm saying? Ratliff was the last time we had a true superstar defensive tackle up in the front four, and we haven't had one since. They thought it was okay to have Tyron Crawford as our best D tackle for 6 years. So to see them invest in, a guy with a skill set like Mazi Smith, I think was super excited. And right now, I would say compared to what you had available, I think everything did the same thing. If you get Nolan, you still are getting pressure, but to get pressure from the interior, I think changes the complexity of the way that people attack this defense. And so now, where do you want to look? Do you want to look at DeMarcus Lawrence as the weakest link? Because that guy has been a premier run defender on this team for 10 years now. So
All right.
I think just how round one played out for us. Dallas stayed packed and they picked a good player, and that's the best thing you can do in the late 20s. So I'm 100% with it. And so you gave the pick an A+. I'll give it a B+ for where you were and all things considered. I think just all things considered, I'll give it a B+. Nick, what about you?
Yeah, I give it like probably an A minus. I think people are kind of getting confused. They're like, "Oh, you only picked him for need," which is kind of true. And I think people get the best player available thing as like you just get the best player on your board, but that's not how it always should work out. So
Mhm.
even if the best player on my board can't give me an instant impact, it's not going to be a good pick per se. I know that Mazi
Yeah.
can give me instant impact for one. For two, we see a lot of untapped potential when you watch this film. And I think that's the one thing about the scouting department we got to give a lot of credit to is they don't only look at what you see on film, if that makes sense. Like
Right.
they I think
Yeah.
some teams look at everything and like kind of like a value thing, like, oh, he did this, so that's what he's going to be. But that's not necessarily what our front office sees, which I got to give them a lot of credit for, and obviously
Yeah.
play for.
They
So
project traits.
right,
Right.
they like traits, and that's why sometimes the pick don't necessarily make sense right away. Like last year, we say Tyler Smith, and some people think Tyler Smith didn't make too much sense. But if you look at Tyler Smith's traits in college, you saw what you know what I'm saying? You saw what he could be if you
Yeah.
really like look deeper into it.
Right.
Um,
And I look at it similar to that. I look
mm,
at it similar to Tyler Smith. I
mm,
see Mazi, and I look at it like I don't think it was the drafting, putting need over value, because you look at Mazi Smith, and there's an argument to be made even with Jalen Carter in the draft that he's the most freakish athlete at his position in the draft, and he has an upside at nose tackle that usually a lot of nose tackles that you do draft in the late first round or early second round, they don't even have the traits that Mazi Smith carries at his size and strength. So
Yeah.
I think I look at Mazi Smith. Not only does it upgrade a position, it makes like the surrounding players better. Like
yeah,
also
Yes.
Didi Zua doesn't have to play one tech anymore in a pinch. That's not a
No.
thing anymore. He gets to play 3 tech, 5 tech, 4 eye.
Biotech,
He
right.
gets to line up and really Mozzie gets to absorb those one-on-ones. I mean the double teams, and also gets to go one-on-one, kind of like the way that Deron Payne works for Jonathan Allen.
yeah.
Yeah. No,
I think
absolutely. I think I 100% agree. Like, just be able to make your other players better. And Dallas has done a great job at that. I think they've attacked this as a team, and as from if you look at it, it's almost like they're playing chess, and they want to make their power players even more powerful by setting up the other side of the board. And so, we want to have a Gilmore, we want to have all pros everywhere. But what's the point of having all pros if nobody don't want to get dirty? Sometimes when you got
Right.
all pros, they don't want to get dirty. You gotta find players that want to go out there and they want to get dirty. And Mazi, in his press conference with Jerry, he said, "I'm here to stop the run." So from day one, he knows what his job is. I'm not here to make a Pro Bowl. I'm not here to do anything to stop the run. And I think that's where it starts for us. And all the success is built off. Okay, now Dallas, we don't have to worry about them giving up 200 yards rushing every week
Right.
because you got a guy in there with him. You match him and Hankins. When you put them both on the field at the same time, you get the Washington, Deron Payne, and Jonathan Allen. You get the Buccaneer and the Dominican Sue Vita Vea thing. Where now, running up the middle is a negative play for your offense. So,
yeah.
hey, man, say, man.
I saw Lop say it best. We got to look at Mozzie as like a role player. Like, not that he's not going to be a star, not going to be a superstar, but as role players in the sense that his job is to keep the linebackers clean, which we haven't had that in I don't know how long. But two,
Ever.
you got 11 on the edge. You got to make sure 11 stays clean. So if he can keep 11 clean, that one leads to a lot of sacks. And two, beyond the sacks, we saw Micah, his health kind of, deteriorating toward the end of the year. And I think that'll keep Micah clean, healthy, and, keep him productive for a full season.
Yeah, the defense should play a lot less snaps this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that Mazi could end up being the focal point of the defensive line.
Yeah.
Yes.
Forget Micah, forget D-Law. He's the one where when he's on the field, we're creating off of Mazi. And if you get a situation like that, I seen a stat from I don't know who emphasized this point, but someone said that Mazi was playing like 48 snaps in a game.
Yeah, I saw that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you're getting 6'3", 270, can bench press 325 15 times, can run a sub 540, and now you can play 50 snaps?
Right.
Chop, come on, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and then if you decide that, hey, like, we still need to double Michael Parsons, you're going to leave your center being bench pressed to your quarterback. So just imagine how much pressure. Now look at from a his performance perspective. If Micah has 20 sacks and you still got to double team Michael Parsons, Mazi's going to get his now too. He's not always going to play complementary roles. Sometimes he's going to play attacker or aggressor as well. So I think when you just get to play that game of chess with Dan Quinn, he's just going to have to feel it. And then I'm going to blitz somebody too. Overshawn. Okay, we ain't even say his name. My bad. My bad. I mean, let me not bring up the Marvin. But so no, I'm excited. Guys, good combo. Let's go a little bit of a somber note. With the second pick, the Dallas Cowboys select Luke Schoonmaker. What's your reaction to that when that comes across your TV? How do you react to that?
I'll react. You seem like y'all not too excited to react about Luke Schumacher, but I am. I actually like him.
Crickets.
I like him as a player. Tight end is the position I really did the most homework on going into the draft because just so much smoke around the position. Outside of the big three guys, I wanted to look past those guys because I kind of had a feeling like I know Dallas needs a tight end, but I don't think they're going to want to pick the first three guys in the first round, So just in that day two range, I had Schumacher, I had Sam Laporta, and I had Tucker Kraft. And, narrow it down to those three guys, I think Schumacher is probably the best traits guy out of those three. I think the athlete, he kind of reminds me of like if Blake Jarwin was a better blocker. That's kind of what he is. He's a good seam stretcher. He's a much bigger threat going down the seam than Dalton Schultz ever was, just because of the athlete that he is from day one. He's a better blocker than Dalton Schultz was from day one. He's probably not a better like underneath route runner yet. He's not like crisp or anything like that, and he doesn't give much like creativity in terms of like yak. But he's a hard worker at the tight end position. I think he's going to change a lot of people's opinion like early on because he's going to be an early contributor.
Yeah. Touchdown red zone guy. You think?
Yeah.
You can score some touchdowns early and change
strong
the tide.
hands.
Yeah.
He has real strong hands.
Yeah.
So just to piggyback.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Just to piggyback on it, I think we're gonna have the same conversation for a lot of these guys. And we've been having it, I think, since Dan's first draft when he went out there and we had like 10 defensive picks, and where you're going to complement the guys that we already have. Like I think they're approaching this team is we're not drafting these players for themselves. We're drafting them for how they contribute to the guys around them. And so now you have a Hendershot that's your creative tight end, yak-wise, that's creative, being able to route and just being a vertical threat. You got your Ferguson, who your shorthand, run you over, athletic athlete guy, and then you got your Shoemaker, who steps into the Dalton Schultz role and tries to improve that role of being an every down tight end that can play in the scheme, block, and be able to attack the seam vertically. So I think you have a three-headed monster there where you don't have to have one guy to do everything. But Nick, what was you about to say?
Yeah. I just want to piggyback on what Al was saying about the smoke being to the being on the tight end position. I wanted to talk about um, uh, what we talked about earlier, kind of about how they they don't trust what they say because I know it's a little bit of a we talking about it a little bit, but I think one thing that they did really well was the Bills specifically said it themselves. Like Brandon Bean, the GM, he said it. We jumped Dallas round one to get Kincaid. The whole time, the number one tight end on Dallas's board was actually Sam Laporta. So, they put all that out into the media and it worked, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to give them credit for that. But yeah, I'm not, it's not that I don't like the Jamaica. I actually kind of like looking at it now. I kind of actually like it a lot. One game I got to watch after was against Iowa. Yo, he's physical, and I think that's going to show what they build. They're trying to build a physical football team. They don't want to. They want to go to San Francisco, and they want to be able to knock San Francisco in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
we tired of getting bullied. You know what I'm saying? And Mike, joking around. Mike's from Pittsburgh, man. They play that real tough football up in Pittsburgh, and I think when he came to take over this team, and I think it's part of the reason people like Amari Cooper are gone. And I think it's part of the reason like Lyle Collins and people like that are gone is Mike wanted people that are physical. He don't want nobody that's, you know what I'm saying? He don't not that they soft, but they not, you know what I'm saying? They're not ready to come hit you in the mouth.
He want the crazy a little bit. He want crazy players.
Right. And, that goes on for Mazi too. I was watching a Mazi presser. He was like, man, I just want to hit somebody in the mouth right now. And I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what we need. We don't have no right. We don't have nobody that's ready to. You know what I'm saying? We need some gangsters on the defense. You know what I'm saying? And we've been lacking that. We need some gangsters on the O line. We've been lacking that. We tired of getting pushed around. And I think that's a good thing that Mike's emphasizing right now. And when I was watching the Iowa tape, and I think it was I got recommended the Maryland game. I watched a little bit of it. Haven't finished it, but you see Shoemaker ready to hit you. Like it ain't just let me come out there, let's look fly, let's look pretty. Just let me hit you. And like I like what he's Blake Jarwin if Jarwin could actually block. Because as an athlete, he's incredible. The only issue I have is 25 years old. So
yeah.
Right.
Second round. So I mean, you picked him in the second round. I mean, it depends. I think that's part of the disappointment. I think you picked Shoemaker in the third round or fourth round. We sitting here jumping for joy. I think where you picked him and relative to what we usually pick in the second round is Trayvon Diggs and DeMarcus Lawrence type of guys. But Shoemaker can absolutely be that. I think it's just tight end. I think it's just the tight end bias that we naturally have. But Shoemaker, I hope he comes out and balls. I trust this front office that much where I'm going to give them the opportunity to prove me right or prove me wrong. You know what I mean? So shout out to them and big shout out to Jim Harbaugh, man. Being able to make some players that Dallas was picking back-to-back rounds to go Michigan twice. Shout out to that guy.
Yeah.
So moving forward, in the third round, we got DeMarvin Overshawn, the Texas linebacker, and I'll just start. When I see him, I think of a little bit of a Devin Lloyd type of player from last year. Not necessarily completely there, but just the ability to be a versatile linebacker, to give you some on the line contributions as well as can even drop back at times. I think he's athletic. I think he can hit. I think he's powerful. He's gonna be a cool blitzer. You put him in there early, and he competes with Devin Harper, and he competes with the LSU boys, and he just competes. And I give him as good enough of a chance as anybody if he can come out here and make plays. He's gonna look like he's a big ball player. And if he can come out there and be able to blitz and attack the way we think he is, they drafted him for traits. I think you give him a good enough shot to get in the field as anybody. What's your guys' opinion on Overshawn, and where do you think he competes day one?
Nick, you're a Texas guy. I'll let you go.
Yeah. So, like you said, I watched basically all of his games the past few years. Well, ever since he, played at Texas. I think they got like the best way that I like, watching him over the past couple of years. I think he's going to come in and he's actually going to be a little bit more than a linebacker. I think he's kind of going to be like J-Ron Curse in the future. I think he's very long. He's very rangy. You know what I'm saying? He already knows how to cover. Like that's not an issue. He played safety in high school. He was He was a 4-star recruit in high school at safety. So he knows how to cover, very long, very rangy. I think, like I said, the J-Ron Curse thing, I think once he becomes able to man up and, that's different level at the NFL. And I think
Right.
J-Ron is
Playing
very
isolation.
right. I think he's going to be able to, fill that role if that's the direction they want to go in the future. At first, I thought that was going to probably be their Marquise Bell. Hopefully, they give him a shot at that. But
Yeah.
what we're showing is that he also can. I think the pass rush ability, at least from me watching it, is kind of getting overrated. I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, he's third down pass rush." I don't think he's that good at
DPR, like
even
blitzer.
yeah, like a blitzer. Like if you send him on a blitz, I think that'll work. But I'm not
Yeah.
going to line him up on the edge and say like, let's go 1-on-1. I don't know why people are thinking that he could do that, but kind of getting overrated. But I think he gives you very good versatility, and I think it goes to the point of what Dan Quinn's trying to do. He's just trying to get a bunch of dudes that can play. If you can play linebacker, I need you to play some edge a little bit. But if you can't play, if you can also give me the edge, I need you to play a little bit of safety or give me some slot corner.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of everything that switch up, give you chest matches. I think he's able to do that.
Yeah, I would get it.
Zero.
Everything you say about the players was pretty much what I've seen, and when they drafted him, it kind of made me think like when I put eyes on him and what he does, it made me think like, what is the coaching staff? What do they think about Jabril Cox? Are they, do they give up on him, or do they just want some competition and establish some depth at kind of like a similar position at linebacker? Because I look at Leighton Vander Esch, and I feel like unless they feel like Damone Clark can beat it, I think Leighton Vander Esch is the only linebacker of his kind on the roster. And so I kind of feel like they would, kind of feel that depth behind him. But, I kind of have a lot of questions moving forward about the linebacker position. Like, once Leighton Vander Esch is gone, what does it look like? Are we moving more towards these athletic guys? Or will there eventually be like a Leighton Vander Esch replacement? But, I like the player. I think he just further adds to what, like a theme of Dan Quinn's defense is traits-wise. And you can never complain about that.
Yeah, I just want to add real
Yeah.
quick. Just the past couple of years watching him at Texas, one thing I know we'll get instantly from him. I know it's not a big deal to some people, but obviously watch ball, this is important. He's gonna give you very good special teams value, like off rip. Like fifth year senior playing, special teams, and that's not something that's common. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's good.
Yeah.
Now that Bones will really like that. My bad, Derrick, you go there.
No, I agree. I mean, shoot, we saw Chauncey Golston come out there as a rookie and block. How many kicks did Chauncey block his rookie year? I mean, so we know how important that can be. Even going out there to looking at the linebacker room. Did you guys get a chance? I can't think of the linebacker's coach name, but he went on .com's YouTube right after the pick. Curly, and he broke down really the situation with the whole linebacker room. They asked him some really good questions. I think to the Jabril Cox point, I think Cox is just hurt. Because when you hear him talk, he was saying like, him getting the chance to get healthy. So maybe he was in an MG position, but we don't need you, because it seemed like from listening to coach talk, it felt like now Jabril has to earn his opportunity now that he's healthy. So I don't think last year he was in a position to play his best brand of football because the knee just wasn't repaired the way it should have been. And so that I think that's a big point for him. Two, I think Leighton will be replaced two things are going to happen with Leighton. He's going to get signed to 3 more 1-year contracts, or they're going to replace him, you know what I'm saying? But I think they do like having a guy like Leighton. They're just milking Leighton for everything they can get. If I can get this production from a $3 million contract every year, let him do it. I don't have to draft another guy, because you're getting, at least average linebacker play, which is hard to find in the league at playing middle. And didn't Leighton call the defense last year? So I think he had to die last year. He gave it up. So he got it back. So for me, I'm looking at Leighton, and just the way that we're looking at this defense. I think it's you have some corner pieces, and let's build those athletes around them. Right now, Leighton's been that corner piece, right there in the middle. He's held it down for us. And I think, like we talked about earlier, having a Mazi we haven't seen Leighton play with a defensive tackle yet.
Yeah.
He has not played with a one tech in his career. So whether it's 2018 Leighton or San Francisco Leighton, we're gonna get to see the best Leighton Vander Esch we've ever seen. Hopefully this year,
Yeah.
if he
Right.
can not get his spot taken. So, and Damone Clark could be a Leighton Vander Esch replacement to me. I don't think Damone is this Overshawn athlete. I think Damone Clark is a middle linebacker in some respects. Once he gets the ability to sit there and read, attack and shade blocks and just play middle, call the defense, be the captain. I think that may be something that he's being groomed. And hey, sit next to Leighton and then eventually take on this role, kind of similar how Leighton was with Sean. So yeah, I think we'll see. I think we'll definitely see how that plays out for us. So yeah, man. Any other thoughts on Mr. Overshawn?
And I
Nah, the
think
only thing. You go ahead. Yeah, I was just piggybacking off the thought you had about him being a special teams player, and I think that's something that goes underrated about Dallas. Since McCarthy's been here, they really do put effort. Some picks will be special teams picks, but it does show up on the field. Because I remember in the Gary days, 2019, we would lose games because of special teams. So it's not, it doesn't go unappreciated to me.
look at the Rams game last year. I mean, they wouldn't have won that game without good special teams play because Cooper Rush was abysmal in that game. Like it was just
Right.
position with special teams play. So.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And it's three phases to the game, and we played with two phases for 20 years. So to have the third phase show up for us now has been pretty fun. Via Mile Fuyoko, decent.
Junior.
Decent. Okay, all right, decent pronunciation. Okay. Um, Okay, so we brought in another, this has been a repetitive theme for us over the last couple of years, getting a 3 tech, 5 tech, versatile guy that can impact the run defending game and develop as a pass rusher. I didn't watch much of this guy going into the process. Nick, you may have anybody got a breakdown on Fioku and who he is at the player? After he was all Pac, all West, Mountain West, whatever he was.
Plays in some small conference.
Player of the year or something. So he was the best player in the conference. So that I always appreciate, even if you go to a mid-major, if you're the best player in your conference, that says something to me. So what you guys got on Fioku? Not Simi, of course, because he doesn't do anything.
First thing that I loved was the motor, and I think that's what Dan Quinn. Like that's what gets Dan Quinn fired up. Is dudes with a great motor, and I think, you see it with the Lions game with Micah Parsons, making plays like that. You see Tank Lawrence coming sometimes from the backside and tackling somebody 10, 15 yards out. I mean, these are star players, playing with high motors, and I think this is the first thing that stood out to me was the motor. Next was the violence he played with. I mean, it's like, dude, like you see this man, like he's real life ready to hit somebody. Like, and this back to the point we've been making is the physicality. We tired of getting bullied, and that's I think that's the main thing he was very much like showing on tape. Other than the motor was violence, and I think another good thing was that I noticed was he's very good with his hands already. He likes to his hands. He's not just using the I'm talking about, like just kind of trying to get through. He's using his hands.
He's out these. Yeah,
he's active.
Smooth
So
out the way.
those are the three
Create
things.
space.
And I think put on a couple pounds. I think he'll be a good versatile piece on the inside. I don't think he's an edge though.
Yeah, they want a rotation. I think they really value a rotation and always creating competition, because a lot of people say, "Hey, Dorrance, goodbye. This may be your calling, that you're on your way out." And just as many bodies are being thrown at that defensive line, the room is going to be crowded. You're going into camp with 14 guys that can make the team, and last year they kept 10, I think, on the defensive line, maybe 10, 11. You're going to have similar numbers this year, so it's going to be survival of the fittest out there for them boys for sure. And it's going to be, you're going to keep about 4 or 5 edges and another, 5 interior guys and whatnot. So the numbers are going to get thin, and it's going to come down to who can produce early. Hopefully, some of these we can maintain some of these guys and not lose them to Washington, Ridgeway. But you know what I mean? You got to show up early, and some guys, somebody's getting cut. Somebody's getting cut. What you got for Fiocco?
Yeah, pretty much everything Nick said. Pretty much what I've heard about him is he's kind of like what you would hope for him to be is like a Chauncey Golston type
Yeah.
piece, inside
Yeah.
outside type guy. So if that's the case, and he turns out to kind of provide some of the same depth that Chauncey Golston has, and I'm cool with the pick. Give it about a B minus.
Yeah. No, I mean, and I think the whole draft as a whole, I would say, and we can do that at the end of this. It's probably looking around like around what you said, a B. I mean, this is a draft that's structured to support what you already have, and I think this is a podcast, at least for the foreseeable future, of anti-San Francisco podcast. I think the Cowboys are an anti-San Francisco football team. Like everything that we're doing, everything that we talk about is to beat those guys, because we feel like that's the thing holding us back from, playing for that Lombardi. And so I think they took that philosophy of I think they should probably just watch the San Francisco tape and say, what could we have used in this game? We could have used the nose. We could have used the tight end that stayed in bounds. We could have used some more run support in the fourth quarter, and they drafted those positions, to be honest. So I think that's pretty awesome. And so just recapping, we ain't gotta go through some of these later round guys. Eric Scott, young bull's name is Jalen Brooks. Sorry about that, Jalen Brooks. But somebody we made his dad proud, and we picked him in the 6th round. What do you guys? I personally with Deuce Vaughn, I like the player, right? He's small. Everybody keeps saying the Darren Sproles. He got to pick on some weight. But I was watching the Bama game when he took it to the crib. And when he did that, I was like, oh, he can play at the next level. Because if you do that against those guys, you can do it at the next level. I mean, Bama's just the standard in college football. You can make plays against them. Michael Gallup got drafted because he made plays against them. I think the same goes for Deuce Vaughn. And so already crowded and has a bunch of versatile guys. I'm excited to see along with Tony Pollard and see, can they make this a dynamic trio with him and Jones and, even Malik Davis. So I'm excited. I think Deuce Vaughn's a dynamic player, and like we've talked about, gives you special teams ability as well. You could put, and you may be able to, put him in space, run some 21 personnel, 22 personnel, and see what TP and Deuce Vaughn can do at the same time, because that's a nightmare. You need to go into the dime to cover those guys. So what are you guys thinking about 22 from where we go? K-State?
Yeah, K-State. Yeah, man, I think I love Deuce. I love the pick. One of my favorite late round day 3 picks. I like that grade. I gave it an A+, and I gave a seam an A+. Starting with Deuce, I feel like Deuce is when you talk about running back, size doesn't deter me if you talking about a guy that's not going to be a bell cow. So all I look for is ability on film. Is he hard to tackle? Yes. Does he provide value in the passing game? Yes. And he has his own athletic advantages built into his packages. And so I feel like he's going to be a useful player, especially with Mike McCarthy.
Yeah. I don't know if y'all saw my tweet. I posted some old screenshot of a bunch of messages. I've spoke this into existence with Deuce. Deuce was by far my favorite player watching the college football last year, bro. Like, it ain't even close, bro. Like, you get the ball in his hands, bro, something's going to happen. Like, he's filthy, man. The best description I saw on Deuce was, go outside with your dog and have your dog try to catch a squirrel. I guarantee he will not catch that squirrel, bro. That squirrel will outrun him.
Wow.
He's going to beat him everywhere. And, I mean, everybody here play ball. Y'all know how hard it is to tackle somebody so low to the ground, bro.
Right.
Most of the time, you're way bigger. They got the advantage. They can put their foot in the man. This ain't even an A+ for me. This is an A++++++. Like, I think
For
this one.
sure. And the 6th round is crazy.
Yes, like if he was 3-4 inches taller, he'd be drafted in round 2 or 3.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of people comp him to Sproles, but when I look at him, I know he's shorter, but I see Brian Westbrook.
I can see that.
The way he manipulates the second level and maneuvers with his second level and kind of slides underneath his lineman in between him and the tackler. Like, it reminds me of Brian Westbrook. That shit used to be frustrating to watch.
I don't think I've ever been so happy for a 6th round pick in my life, man.
Yeah.
Really?
This is going to be And I'm a firm believer. I think retiring jersey numbers in football, especially, is dumb. I really wish they would give him the 22. I really do.
Can't do it.
Yeah, they
Can't
gave
do it.
him
I'm not
42.
with you guys on
No, they can't,
They
man.
They gave him Sproles' number. They got 42
Yeah, he got 42. I saw.
for sure.
Give him Jordan Lewis's number. Give him Jay Lou's number. Y'all trying to give him Emmett's number?
Jay Lou, I've seen Jay Lou. He seemed like a petty dude, man. He not giving up that too.
All right,
I wouldn't want. Nah, Jay Lou don't need to give up his number. I don't think so. I like the secondary rocking them the single digits.
Yeah, secondary,
man.
definitely. Your corners looking sweet in the single digits for sure.
Gilly got to follow suit.
I think Gilly weren't. Oh no, he wearing 21, right?
He got 2-1 on.
Yeah.
Hey, last time we had a 21 corner.
That's OG work right there.
Hey, let's make it like when we got a last time 21 came to Dallas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nah, look. 21 in the corner is the best number you can do in football. Putting 2-1 in the corner is the best you can do.
You think so?
I'm telling you, it's man, by far.
I'm a little biased. I like 7 on corners. I like 7 on corners.
You trade money, okay? Come on, trade 7.
You got Pat Pete back in the day, Tyron Mack. The LSU boys made that.
Now 21, that's legendary. That's like 23.
You're right. Yeah,
you gotta be cold to rock 2-1.
Look about Pat Pete on the Cardinals though.
Well, Pat Pete,
you gotta be cold. It's like
sure.
That's because I'm boys in college want to wear single digits in the low numbers, man. I still to this day, if I got to play corner right now, give me 21. Give me 21. That's the best number in football to me. 21.
I can dig it.
I got in the 21 jersey from like Pound Ball. My first jersey was number 21. Come on, man.
Speaking of Deuce, real quick though, is Kevontae Turpin on roster watch?
Yeah,
I think so too. I like Turpin though.
Yeah, because Deuce will be a threat. Deuce will be a threat in the return game and an offensive piece.
That's the thing. I don't think you could put him on the field on offense.
No.
If Turp is himself, Turp is a better returner as well. Like that's the truth. But Turp needs to be. He has to play in his skin. Like Turp needs to be Turp, and I don't think you saw Kevontae Turp in the regular season. I think he felt the pressure of what this team was trying to accomplish, and he did not want to be the guy to mess it up. I think that's the bottom line. That's what you can see it every single time. There's certain times we like Turp, you ain't returned a kick out yet. You can touch back 3 of them things. Take one out. And then you chasing. You start to chase returns because now like I ain't had the production that I want to have. Now I gotta return instead of like, hey, just pick your spots, be comfortable.
Yeah, I agree.
And when you get an opportunity, so I think if Kevontae Turpin is himself, he have no problem. He's gonna return a kick in the preseason, which is probably gonna secure his spot because they can't tackle him in the preseason. And I think hopefully you have a situation where you have a Deuce and a Turpin on your roster because now guess what you got? You got playmakers. Why Dallas feel like we can only have one playmaker at a time is beyond me. But you got CeeDee Lamb, Deuce Vaughn, Kevontae Turpin, Brandon Cooks. You got playmakers on your offense. You don't got Bryce Butler and you ain't got Allen Hurns and you ain't got those type of guys. You got guys that are dynamic with the ball in their hands. And I just want to fill my offense with those type of guys. So hopefully Kevontae is not on watch. I think that'd be bad for our team if he's on watch. But it's up to Turp to figure that out.
I just want to say that we talked about on the Instagram Live Cowboys Twitter interactions. You just brought up Allen Hurns, and I remember a couple years ago I had tweeted, "Get Allen Hurns off my team," and his mama came at my neck in my mentions. So, man, I ain't want that smoke though. I ain't want smoke with his OG, so I let it be.
For sure. Salute Allen Hurns, man.
Mama.
Salute Mama Hurns.
Yeah, nah, for real, that's real.
Yeah.
I gotta respect her for doing that.
Allen Hurns broke his leg on the field for us, man. Shout out Allen Hurns, man. My boy, he risked it all for us in 2018, man. Shout out that guy.
For sure.
Shout out that guy. All right, fellas. So we gonna recap the draft, and I think top to bottom, I think Dallas wants to develop some guys, and they're gonna absolutely have the chance to do that with this roster. Um, Team outlook wise, I think the way it positions us now is we keep talking about we don't have any holes, but truly now you really don't have one that you can that's glaring. Everywhere has a guy that should be able to produce. You also have depth at those positions as well. I think moving into training camp now, we talked a little bit on camera about maybe needing to tap into free agency and see what guys can be there for your offensive line depth. I'll let you guys go a little bit more into that. You guys are the O-line gurus. But I think, my perspective on this team is we're right there. And if you look at the draft with the traded picks in there too, and now you got Gilmore and you got Brandon Cooks included into this draft class, oh, you upgraded big time for where you were in January when you walked out of Levi. So I'm excited to see where we go heading to camp here. But you got guys everywhere. I would love to have another receiver in there, but MG they're giving you the floor. And Tolbert, they're giving you the floor. Which one of y'all want to be receiver 3? And so I think like we said, we ain't got no holes, and we just as we look into camp, man, it's just how do you make the team reach its potential. So you guys can give me your outlook on that and see we can have a little discourse there.
Yeah, man, this team ain't got no holes. Depending on one thing, depending on if the left tackle is Tyron Smith and the left guard is Tyler Smith, or if Tyler Smith is your left tackle and Tyron Smith is your right tackle, like they say, then we still got some work to do. We still got a question mark out at left guard. But otherwise, I think the roster is complete. And I think if I'm looking at the O-line unit, looking at the group of guys that we have, looking at all those names, I think the room is complete. I think it's the configuration that you have to figure out from here. So I think as far as like roster construction, adding players to your roster, you got everything you need, I think, at this point.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think this is the first time I've been able to go into this training camp, mini camp, whatever it is, and be like not worried about who's going to do, a little bit extra to make the team. You know what I'm saying? It feels like for the first time, like everybody on offense ain't going to have to give that extra 10%. On defense, everybody ain't going to have to give that extra 10%. And I was talking to somebody about it. It feels like a lot of this draft, we were drafting projects, if that makes sense. Like a lot of these dudes really where they need to be, but they will be eventually. And I was like, man, it feels good. Not feels good, but it's good to see them be able to piss away a draft on like dudes that like they don't need right now. They're gonna be able to develop them for next year, the year after, and stuff like that because they so deep on, throughout the roster. Probably bring in some camp bodies. Me and I was talking about Isaiah Wynn, potentially.
Nice. New England.
Linemen in, some vets with some starts because can't get too many linemen in. Obviously, we ain't mention it because I'm sure it'll figure itself out. Probably a kicker, but it'll figure itself
needs
out.
to figure itself out. Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't.
Going back to that point that Nick made, he was saying this is the first time we've seen them go into training camp with like a fully loaded out roster. I think about it like when do y'all feel how I feel? Because I feel like going into training camp, I think if you out there at Oxnard and you looking at the matchup, you look at the one-on-ones, I think at every position group there's a true high level competition going on, whether it be a wide receiver corner, O-line, D-line, linebacker, running back, safety, So, I think everywhere there's true, like, good competition going on. And I don't think either side is going to get dominated through training camp this year.
Yeah, that's a huge point. Usually we do see these units, and for the last couple of years, it's been the defense dominating the offense, and that we've always like, yo, that's not a good look. And we've seen, sometimes week one come and then the offense turns it on, and sometimes we've looked at it last year against the Buccaneers that they didn't have that. I think this year, like you said, you're going to see that dominance from the offense, from whether it's from the offensive line being able to hold their own, not getting whooped by Mike, everybody not getting whooped by Micah and D-Law. And CD Lamb trying to really go one-on-one with these corners, man, because it's usually just been him and Trey for a while now. I can't wait to see the one-on-one between him and Gilmore, man. Like, that's going to be must-see TV. So, no, absolutely. Even Brandon Cooks.
I know we'll get into it eventually, but we talking about it now. So I'm trying to pay front row tickets for Tyler Smith versus Mazi Smith.
Mazi Smith, boy.
That's gonna sound like bumper cars, bro.
Well, when they put the pads on for the first day, oh my God.
Yeah.
That's two of the strongest players in the league right there. I mean, talk about seeing it. Mazi was repping 350 or something, like 24 times.
22 times. The boy is strong as hell.
He gonna bench press Tyler. I ain't gonna lie. I got my money on Mazi. I think Tyler gonna be able to. I think Tyler gonna like stop him at some point, but he gonna give up ground. Like Mazi's gonna send him backwards, and at some point Tyler's just gonna stand up. It seems like he always just takes 2 steps back, and he just stands up, and it's like it's no more moving him. But Mazi gonna get underneath them pads, and he gonna send him back, man. I can't see Tyler dealing with that type of strength, boy. Like that's different.
I don't know, man. Tyler,
he was out there still beating Vita Vea.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I said, boy, Tyler's strong as hell.
Now, when I knew Tyler was the truth was when they was, I think they was in, it was when they got down to Dallas and they was showing a little practice on the joint, and Micah just tried to power rush him, and all you see was Tyler just stonewall him, and just Micah was like,
yeah, that ain't gonna work, Mike.
Better go around me. You better go around.
That's when I knew Tyler was like, all right, yeah, that's gonna be a good pick right there.
Yeah. This might be Micah Parsons DPOY. We don't talk a lot about Micah, and we started this podcast during draft season, so a lot of the content's been draft related and prospect related. I can't wait to start talking about the guys that play on this team, like the Micah Parsons, because I think what he's about to do this season, I think last season was a sophomore slump for him. I think honestly, you could just tell he just didn't get to play exactly how he wanted to, and he was frustrated at times. Sometimes he was taken off the field. But this year, man, I think just the work that he's putting in, getting Mazi Smith, getting year 3, like he's talked about, like I think this is his Ray Lewis. I always compare Micah to Ray Lewis, and I think this is the year where he's going to get into that I'm the best defensive player in the entire league. And it's not debatable. Don't bring up no TJ Watt. Aaron Donald's old. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna be he's the Don. So I'm excited.
I think he could have disrespected.
I compared to like LeBron. Like, when LeBron came in with like the first time you seen him, we all knew he was the best. But like, like year 3, year 4, all right, Kobe, give me the crown now. You know what I'm saying? Because it's visual evidence. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what we get into. Like, it's time for Micah to visually prove it, like through stats, through accolades, through awards. Like, it's time to be, that level of recognition where there's no question. There's nobody on this level. J.J. Watt, Von Miller, Aaron Donald, all in their prime. That's the kind of level defender that, Micah needs to step up to this year.
Yeah.
I think he wants to too. I really think, like, looking at some stuff he says, I think he finds it disrespectful that people put other players on his level. And when you get that type of mentality, sky's the limit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can just do anything you want. He's just got to be able to flip that switch. And we saw it in the Tampa game. We saw it in the San Francisco game, where he flips that switch, and he's ready to dominate. And not too many players like that.
Absolutely. Last point, fellas, and I thought about this before. Does Mazi allow you to start to use Mike at linebacker again?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I've been thinking about that. Dan does it when we play San Francisco every single time. He uses them. It's a certain big game. I think if he used them in the Buccaneers game, start putting him at linebacker when it's critical and he has to do certain things. Dan will put him at linebacker.
All right.
I think you'll see Michael playing a little bit. He'll play a little. His game will be a lot more versatile this year. He won't be sitting at right defensive end all season. I can't see it.
Al, you think that's because I think that it would give Dorrance and whoever else more reps at the edge because they know they got somebody that can keep that edge more
That-
free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Dorrance and Chauncey Golston, they'll probably see more time with deep opposite D Law in the rundown
Tay,
package. Yeah.
Dante, watch
yeah,
Dante, man. Second
Yeah.
year in this
Dante
system
solid
again.
too. Yeah.
I
But
can't.
I think they view
Dante's
him
him.
as and Sam Williams as your
Sam
second and third third down rushers
Yeah.
after Micah.
Yeah. I think we'll see it.
For
Hey
sure.
man, great show, fellas. Great show. Hey man, we're at the stretch now. It's time to go. It'll be August and tomorrow. So
Yep.
shoot, we'll have some balls soon, man.
Show,
All
man. I
right, y'all.
can't wait to see the competitions and I can't wait to see, what it looks like out there on the field.
Yeah, man. Hopefully we get out there.
For sure.
Hopefully we get out there.
For sure.
All right, y'all boys. Hey fans, we love y'all. Appreciate y'all for tuning in with us. We appreciate y'all for coming into the live. We're gonna try to do more engaging things coming up here soon, and y'all might see some format things. Always give feedback, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see y'all next time. All right, fellas.
Peace.